You're tired, aren't you? The world has been loud today. Your heart has been carrying things it was never meant to hold alone. But you're here now, and that means something. It means you're ready to set it all down just for a moment and let God hold you instead. Tonight, you don't have to perform. You don't have to fix anything or figure anything out. You're simply invited to rest in the presence of the one who knows your name, who sees every hidden ache, who has been waiting for you to come close. So breathe slowly. Let your shoulders fall. You are safe here. Let us begin with the words of Jesus himself, the one who understands exhaustion, who withdrew to quiet places, who invites you now to do the same. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, verses 28 through 30, Jesus speaks, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light." He sees you. He sees the weight you've been carrying, the tasks that never end, the worries that wake you at night, the responsibilities that press down on your chest like stones. And he doesn't scold you for being tired. He doesn't tell you to try harder. He simply says, "Come, come to me," not to a system, not to a set of rules, not to a program or a plan, to me, to a person, to the one whose heart is gentle, to the one whose strength is made perfect in your weakness. And he promises rest, not just sleep, though your body may need that too, but rest for your soul, that deep, inner place where anxiety lives, where fear whispers, where exhaustion has made a home. He offers to exchange your burden for his, and his burden, it's light, it's easy, because he carries it with you. In the Gospel of Mark, chapter 6, verses 30 and 31, we read, "The apostles returned to Jesus and told him all that they had done and taught. And he said to them, 'Come away by yourselves to a desolate place and rest a while.' For many were coming and going, and they had no leisure even to eat. Even the disciples, those chosen and sent out by Jesus, came back depleted. They had been teaching, healing, serving. They had been faithful, and yet they were empty." So what did Jesus say? He didn't say, "Push through." He didn't say, "You can rest when the work is done." He said, "Come away. Come away from the demands. Come away from the voices. Come away from the endless coming and going. Come to a desolate place, a quiet place, a lonely place, where there is nothing but me and you. Rest is not laziness. Rest is obedience. Rest is trust. Rest is saying, "I believe you are God, and I am not. I believe you hold the world, and I can let go." In the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verses 4 and 5, Jesus says, "Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself, unless it abides in the vine, neither can you, unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit, for apart from me you can do nothing." Abide, stay, remain, settle in. Don't rush through. Don't check a box. Don't treat time with God like a transaction. Abide. A branch doesn't strive to produce fruit. It simply stays connected to the vine. It draws life. It receives. And the fruit comes naturally, effortlessly. As a result of that connection, you were never meant to manufacture peace. You were never meant to conjure up strength on your own. You were meant to stay close, to remain, to let his life flow through you like sap through a branch. apart from Him, you can do nothing. Not nothing impressive, nothing, but in Him, you bear fruit. In Him, you find life. In Him, your soul is nourished and your heart is held. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 25 through 27, Jesus teaches, "Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? He knows you've been anxious. He knows your mind has been spinning, rehearsing worst-case scenarios, trying to control outcomes you cannot control. And He gently, so gently, redirects your gaze. Look at the birds. They don't hoard. They don't panic. They don't lie awake at night, wondering if there will be enough. They simply trust, and they are fed. You are worth more than many sparrows. You are loved more than you can fathom. And anxiety, precious one, anxiety adds nothing. It doesn't extend your life. It doesn't solve your problems. It only steals your peace. So Jesus invites you to release it, to lift your eyes from the swirling thoughts and fix them on the Father who sees, who knows, who provides. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 33 and 34, Jesus continues, "But seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Therefore do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble." Seek first, not second, not after you've solved everything else. First, seek His kingdom, seek His presence, seek His face. Make Him the priority, the foundation, the center. And everything else, it will fall into place. Not because life will be easy, but because you will be anchored, you will be held, you will have what you truly need. And tomorrow? Tomorrow is not your burden to carry tonight. Tonight, you are only responsible for tonight. And tonight, you are here, you are with Him, you are safe. The trouble of today is enough. So let tomorrow wait. Let it remain in the hands of the One who already holds it. And rest here. Now, in this quiet moment with the God who never slumbers, who never looks away, who is already preparing the grace you'll need when morning comes. The noise of the world tells you to do more, to be more, to prove more. But God whispers something different. He whispers, "Be still." He whispers, "Stop striving." He whispers, "I am already here. You don't have to earn this moment. You don't have to arrive at some spiritual summit before you're allowed to rest in His presence. You are already loved. You are already seen. You are already enough. So let the doing fall away. Let the trying cease. And simply listen. Simply be. Simply know. In the book of Psalms, chapter 46, verse 10, the voice of God declares, "Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." Be still. Not someday. Not when everything is settled. Not when you've fixed what's broken or completed what's undone. Now, right now, in the middle of the mess, in the middle of the uncertainty. Be still, and in that stillness, know, not figure out, not analyze, not solve. Simply know. Know that He is God. Know that He is sovereign. Know that He holds every nation, every galaxy, every fragile human heart in hands that will not let go. You don't have to manage the universe tonight. You don't have to hold everything together. God is God, and you are His beloved child, and that is enough. In the book of Psalms, chapter 62, verses 1 and 2, David writes, "For God alone my soul waits in silence. From Him comes my salvation. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I shall not be greatly shaken." Silence, not the absence of sound, but the presence of surrender. The soul that waits in silence is the soul that has stopped demanding answers, stopped insisting on timelines, stopped negotiating with God. It simply waits. It simply trusts. It simply rests in the knowledge that salvation, rescue, deliverance, hope comes from Him alone. He is your rock, not your plans, not your strategies, not your ability to hold it all together. He is the foundation that does not crack. He is the fortress that does not fall. And because of Him, you will not be shaken, not greatly, not ultimately, not eternally. The storms may come, the winds may blow, but the soul anchored in God remains steady, held fast by a love that cannot be moved. In the book of Psalms, chapter 131, verses 1 and 2, David continues, "O Lord, my heart is not lifted up, my eyes are not raised too high. I do not occupy myself with things too great and too marvelous for me, but I have calmed and quieted my soul. Like a weaned child with its mother, like a weaned child is my soul within me." There is such beauty in this surrender. David does not pretend to understand everything. He does not occupy himself with mysteries beyond his grasp. He does not exhaust himself trying to comprehend the mind of God. Instead, he calms his soul. He quiets his heart. He rests like a child in his mother's arms, not demanding, not grasping, not striving, simply being, simply held. A weaned child no longer needs milk to be satisfied in its mother's presence. It is content simply to be close, simply to be loved, simply to be safe. And that is what God invites you into tonight. Not a transaction, not a performance, just nearness, just love, just the deep, soul-settling peace of being held by the one who made you. In the book of Exodus, chapter 33, verse 14, the Lord speaks to Moses, "My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest." Moses was leading a nation through the wilderness. He was carrying the weight of thousands upon thousands of people, their complaints, their fears, their needs. And God did not say, "Here's a better plan." He did not say, "Here's a shortcut." He said, "My presence will go with you." And in that presence, not in the absence of hardship, but in the presence of God, there would be rest, true rest, soul rest, the kind of rest that doesn't depend on circumstances but on the steady, unshakable nearness of the one who promises never to leave. You may be walking through a wilderness tonight. You may not know the way forward. You may feel lost or alone or overwhelmed. But listen, His presence goes with you, and where His presence is, there is rest. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 15, the prophet declares, "For thus said the Lord God, the Holy One of Israel, in returning and rest you shall be saved. In quietness and in trust shall be your strength. But you were not willing." Returning, rest, quietness, trust. These are not the strategies the world applauds. The world values hustle, noise, control, self-reliance. But God's economy is different. In returning, in coming back to Him, in repenting, in reorienting your heart toward His face, you are saved. In rest, in ceasing from your striving, in laying down your burdens, you find deliverance. In quietness, in the still, small voice rather than the clamor, you discover clarity. In trust, in believing He is good, He is near, He is enough, you find strength. But we are so often unwilling. We want to fix it ourselves. We want to control the outcome. We want to keep moving, keep performing, keep earning. Tonight, be willing to return, be willing to rest, be willing to trust that His way, the quiet way, the gentle way, the surrendered way, is the way that leads to life. In the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 17, the Lord sings over His people. The Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you by His love. He will exult over you with loud singing. He is here, right now, in your midst, not distant, not distracted, not disinterested. He is here, and He is mighty to save. And He doesn't just tolerate you. He doesn't just put up with you. He rejoices over you with gladness, with delight, with a father's fierce, tender, unrelenting love. He quiets you by His love, not by explanations, not by fixing everything, but by love, by His presence, by the steady, calming assurance that you are His and He is yours. And He sings, the Creator of the universe, the one who flung stars into space, sings over you, with exultation, with joy, with a song so beautiful it could break your heart open and heal it at the same time. You are loved like that, sung over like that, held like that, and nothing can change it. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verses 41 and 42, Jesus speaks to Martha. Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen the good portion, which will not be taken away from her. Martha was serving, she was working, she was doing good things, but she was also anxious, troubled, distracted by many things. Mary, on the other hand, sat at Jesus' feet. She wasn't doing anything impressive. She wasn't accomplishing tasks. She was simply present, simply listening, simply close. And Jesus said Mary had chosen the good portion, the necessary thing, the one thing that matters, not the meal, not the preparations, not the busyness, but Him, His presence, His words, His nearness. And that portion, that choice to sit, to listen, to rest at His feet, cannot be taken away. It is eternal, it is unshakable, it is enough. So tonight, be Mary, let the tasks wait, let the noise fade, sit at His feet and let Him love you. Let Him speak, let Him hold your heart in the quiet. There is a place where life flows freely, where strength is not manufactured but received, where peace is not pursued but simply found. It is the place of abiding, the place of remaining close, the place where His life becomes your life, and your heart beats in rhythm with His. You were never meant to live disconnected. You were never meant to survive on yesterday's grace or tomorrow's hopes. You were meant to stay connected, right here, right now, drawing from the inexhaustible source of His love. So settle in. Stay close. Let His life fill every empty place within you. In the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verses 1 through 3, Jesus declares, I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit He takes away, and every branch that does bear fruit He prunes, that it may bear more fruit. Already you are clean because of the word that I have spoken to you. He is the vine, the source, the root, the life, and you are a branch, connected, held, sustained by Him. The Father tends the vine with care. He removes what is dead. He prunes what is living so it can flourish even more. And pruning hurts. It feels like loss. It feels like something precious is being cut away. But the vine dresser knows what he's doing. He sees what you cannot see. He knows that the trimming, the cutting, the seeming reduction is actually preparation for greater fruitfulness, for deeper life, for richer abundance. And you are already clean, not because you've perfected yourself, not because you've tried hard enough, but because of His word, because of His truth spoken over you, because He has declared you His own. In the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verses 4 and 5, Jesus continues, "Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit by itself, unless it abides in the vine. Neither can you, unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit, for apart from me you can do nothing." Abide. It's not a command to do more. It's an invitation to remain, to stay, to rest in the connection that already exists. The branch doesn't strain to produce grapes. It doesn't stress about whether it's doing enough. It simply stays attached. It draws from the vine, and the fruit comes naturally, inevitably. As a result of that unbroken connection, you cannot bear fruit by yourself. You were never meant to. Your own strength, your own willpower, your own determination, they will run dry. They always do. But His strength, His life, His power flowing through you, that never runs out. Apart from Him, you can do nothing. Not nothing significant, nothing. But in Him, you bear much fruit. In Him, life springs up. In Him, what seemed impossible becomes effortless because it's not your effort at all. It's His life flowing through you. In the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verses 7 through 9, Jesus promises, "If you abide in me, and my words abide in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. By this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit and so prove to be my disciples. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Abide in my love." When you abide in Him, when His words make their home in your heart, prayer changes. It's no longer you demanding things from a distant God. It's you asking from within the relationship, within the love, within the connection. And in that place, your desires align with His. Your heart beats with His heartbeat. And what you ask for is what He longs to give. The Father is glorified not by your exhaustion, but by your fruitfulness. Not by your striving, but by your abiding. When others see your life and witness peace where there should be anxiety, joy where there should be despair, love where there should be bitterness, they see Him. They see the vine at work in the branch, and the love. Oh, the love. As the Father loved Jesus perfectly, completely, without condition or limit, so Jesus loves you. That's not a metaphor, that's reality. You are loved with the same love that flows between the Father and the Son. Infinite, eternal, unshakable. Abide in that love. Stay there. Let it be your home. Let it be the ground beneath your feet and the air you breathe. In the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verses 10 and 11, Jesus explains, "If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in His love. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be full." Obedience is not the opposite of rest. Obedience is the pathway to deeper rest. When you walk in His ways, when you trust His commandments, you discover they are not burdens. They are guardrails. They are boundaries that protect. They are wisdom that leads to life. Jesus kept the Father's commandments not out of duty but out of love, out of trust, out of an unbroken connection, and he invites you into the same. And why does he say all this? So that his joy might be in you. Not a shallow happiness dependent on circumstances, not a fleeting emotion, but his joy. The joy of the Son who knows the Father's heart, the joy of perfect love, the joy of complete security. And that joy, he wants it to be full in you, not half-hearted, not partial, full, overflowing, so abundant that it spills over into every corner of your life. In the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verses 1 through 3, Jesus comforts his disciples. Let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and will take you to myself, that where I am, you may be also. He knows your heart is troubled. He knows the fear that creeps in when you're alone. He knows the uncertainty that whispers in the dark, and he doesn't dismiss it. He simply says, let it not be so. Release it. Give it to me. Believe. Trust, not in your own ability to figure things out, but in him, in his goodness, in his faithfulness, in his promise. He has gone ahead of you. He is preparing a place that fits you perfectly, a place where you will finally, fully be home. And he's not leaving you there to find your own way. He's coming back. He's taking you to himself. He's making sure that where he is, you are also. You belong with him, not someday far off, but even now, even here. Your heart can rest in his presence because your future is secure in his hands. In the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verses 27, Jesus speaks peace. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. This is not the world's peace, the fragile, conditional peace that depends on everything going right. The world's peace is an absence of conflict, a temporary lull in the storm. But it doesn't last. It can't sustain. Jesus' peace is different. It is his own peace. The peace he carried even in the storm. The peace he held even on the cross. The peace that transcends understanding because it doesn't depend on circumstances. It depends on him. He leaves it with you. He gives it to you, not as a theory, not as a nice idea, but as a reality, as a gift placed in your hands, in your heart, in the deepest part of your being. So let your heart release the trouble. Let it release the fear, not because everything is okay, but because he is with you. And where he is, there is peace. In the Gospel of John, chapter 16, verse 33, Jesus promises, I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation. But take heart, I have overcome the world. He doesn't promise you an easy life. He doesn't promise a path without pain. He is honest in the world. You will have tribulation, trouble, hardship, suffering. But in him, in his presence, in his love, in the unbreakable connection between his heart and yours, you have peace. Not because the tribulation goes away, but because he has already overcome it. The world cannot have the final word. Suffering cannot define your story. Death cannot claim your soul. He has overcome. He has conquered. He has won. So take heart. Be courageous. Not because you are strong enough, but because he is. And his victory is yours. There is so much you carry that was never meant to be yours. Worries about tomorrow. Fears about what might happen. Burdens you were never designed to lift alone. and tonight. Jesus looks at you with such tenderness and says, "Let it go. Give it to me. Seek first my kingdom, and watch how everything else falls into place." You don't have to control it all. You don't have to solve it all. You simply have to trust the one who already holds it all in his hands. So breathe deep, release your grip, and let him carry what only he can carry. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 19 through 21, Jesus teaches, "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." What are you holding on to tonight? What have you been clinging to, hoping it will bring security or satisfaction or peace? The things of this world are beautiful, but they are temporary. They rust. They fade. They slip through your fingers no matter how tightly you grip them. But the treasures of heaven, love, faith, hope, the nearness of God, these cannot be stolen. They cannot decay. They are eternal, and they are yours. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be. So if your heart has been anxious, restless, unsettled, perhaps it's because it has been investing in things that cannot last. But when your treasure is in him, when your heart finds its home in his presence, you discover a security that nothing in this world can threaten. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 25 through 26, Jesus speaks with such gentleness, "Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? He knows what keeps you awake. He knows the mental calculations you've been running, the spreadsheets in your mind, the worry that whispers, 'What if there's not enough?' And he redirects your gaze upward. Look at the birds. They don't hoard. They don't worry. They don't lose sleep over tomorrow's meal. And yet, they are fed, they sing, they soar, not because they are careless, but because they trust. They live in the rhythm of receiving, moment by moment, what they need from the one who made them. And you, beloved, precious, known by name, you are worth more than many sparrows. You are more valuable than you can fathom. The Father who feeds the birds sees you, knows you, loves you, and he will provide. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 27 through 30, Jesus continues, "And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? And why are you anxious about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. But if God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is alive and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith?" Anxiety accomplishes nothing. It doesn't extend your life. It doesn't solve your problems. It doesn't change your circumstances. It only robs you of peace, of presence, of the ability to see God's faithfulness right in front of you. Consider the lilies. They don't strive. They don't stress. They simply grow, simply bloom, simply receive the sun and rain and soil that God provides. And they are more beautiful than the wealthiest king who ever lived. God clothes the grass, temporary, here today and gone tomorrow, with such beauty. How much more will he care for you? how much more will He provide for you, clothe you, sustain you? O you of little faith. It's not a condemnation. It's an invitation to trust more, to believe more deeply, to rest more fully in the faithfulness of the one who has never failed you. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 31 through 33, Jesus draws it all together. Therefore do not be anxious, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? For the Gentiles seek after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them all. But seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. The world scrambles. The world grasps. The world lives in constant fear of scarcity, of lack, of not having enough. But you are not of the world. You are a child of the King, and your Father knows what you need before you even ask. He knows, He sees, He cares, and He will provide. But the order matters. Seek first His kingdom, not second, not third, not after you've secured everything else. First, make Him your priority. Make His presence your pursuit. Make His righteousness, His way of being, His heart, His will the foundation of your life, and everything else, it will be added, not because life will be easy, but because you will have what truly matters. You will have Him, and in Him, you have everything. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 34, Jesus concludes, therefore do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. Tomorrow is not yours to carry tonight. Tomorrow has its own grace waiting. Tomorrow has its own provision, its own strength, its own measure of God's faithfulness. But that grace is not available to you right now because you are not living in tomorrow. You are living in today. And today, this moment, this breath has enough trouble of its own, enough challenges, enough weight, and also enough grace, enough strength, enough of God's presence to sustain you. So release tomorrow. Stop borrowing trouble from a future that hasn't arrived. Stop rehearsing disasters that may never come. Stop carrying burdens that don't belong to today. Be here, now, with Him, and let that be enough. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12, verses 22 through 24, Jesus echoes the same truth. And He said to His disciples, therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat, nor about your body, what you will put on. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothing. Consider the ravens. They neither sow nor reap. They have neither storehouse nor barn, and yet God feeds them. Of how much more value are you than the birds? Again, He points to the birds, not because they are better than you, but because they demonstrate a truth you keep forgetting. God provides. God sustains. God cares. The ravens don't have savings accounts. They don't have backup plans. They don't have security systems or insurance policies. And yet, they are fed. They are sustained. They are held in the hand of the Creator. And you, precious one, image bearer, beloved child, you are of so much more value. Your life is about more than mere survival. Your body is a temple. Your soul is eternal. And the God who feeds the ravens is intimately, personally, passionately committed to caring for you. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12, verses 25 through 28, Jesus presses further. And which of you by being anxious can add a single hour to his span of life? If then you are not able to do as small a thing as that, why are you anxious about the rest? Consider the lilies, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. But if God so clothes the grass, which is alive in the field today, and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O you of little faith? If anxiety cannot accomplish something as small as adding an hour to your life, and it cannot, then why give it so much power? Why let it dominate your thoughts, steal your sleep, dictate your decisions? The lilies don't worry about their beauty, they simply exist. And in existing, they reflect the glory of the one who made them. And you are made in the image of God Himself. You are woven with purpose, designed with intention, loved with an everlasting love. If God lavishes such care on flowers that bloom for a day and then wither, how much more will He lavish care on you? How much more will He provide, sustain, clothe, hold? O you of little faith, let your faith grow, let it expand, let it rest in the bigness of God's love and the certainty of His care. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12, verses 29 through 31, Jesus concludes, "And do not seek what you are to eat and what you are to drink, nor be worried, for all the nations of the world seek after these things, and your Father knows that you need them. Instead, seek His kingdom, and these things will be added to you." Stop seeking security in things. Stop searching for peace in provisions. Stop trying to find rest in circumstances that keep shifting beneath your feet. Seek His kingdom. Seek His rule, His reign, His presence, His will. Seek the place where He is king and you are safe under His authority, and everything else, every need, every lack, every longing will be met. Not because you earned it, not because you figured it out, but because your Father knows, your Father sees, your Father loves, and He will not let you go. Jesus understood the weight of exhaustion. He knew what it was to be pressed by crowds, pulled in every direction, needed by everyone. And in the midst of it all, He withdrew. He stepped away. He found quiet places where He could be alone with the Father, not because He was weak, but because He knew the secret. True strength is found in solitude with God. Tonight, you are following in His footsteps. You are choosing the secret place. You are stepping away from the noise, the demands, the endless pull of the world. And here, in the quiet, you will find what your soul has been longing for. In the Gospel of Mark, chapter 1, verses 35, we read, "And rising very early in the morning, while it was still dark, He departed and went out to a desolate place, and there He prayed." Jesus rose early, before the demands of the day began, before the voices started calling His name, before the needs and expectations and pressures crowded in. He went to a desolate place, a lonely place, a quiet place, and there He prayed. If the Son of God needed solitude with the Father, how much more do you, if Jesus, in all His divine strength, withdrew to pray? How can you think you can survive without it? The desolate place is not a punishment, it is a gift. It is where pretense falls away, where distraction fades, where the clutter of life is stripped back and all that remains is you and God. And there, in that place, you are filled, strengthened, renewed, not by doing, but by being, not by speaking, but by listening, not by striving, but by simply abiding in His presence. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 5, verse 16, we see a pattern in Jesus' life. But He would withdraw to desolate places and pray. It wasn't just once. It wasn't a one-time retreat. It was a rhythm, a practice, a pattern woven into the fabric of His life. Again and again, Jesus withdrew. Again and again. He sought the Father. Again and again. He chose solitude over the spotlight, quietness over applause, prayer over productivity. He would withdraw. It was intentional. It was deliberate. He didn't wait for a crisis. He didn't wait until he was completely depleted. He built it into his life as a regular, necessary, life-giving practice. And if it was necessary for him, it is necessary for you. Your soul needs these moments. Your heart needs this space. Your spirit needs time alone with the one who made you, who loves you, who knows you better than you know yourself. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 6, verse 12, we see Jesus before a major decision. In these days he went out to the mountain to pray, and all night he continued in prayer to God. All night. Not a quick prayer before bed, not a rushed moment in the morning. All night. He poured out his heart. He listened. He waited. He sought the Father's will with every fiber of his being. And this was before he chose the 12 disciples, before a significant, life-altering decision. He didn't rely on his own wisdom. He didn't trust his own instincts alone. He prayed. He spent the night in communion with the Father. When you face decisions, when you stand at crossroads, when you don't know which way to turn, withdraw, pray, wait, listen. Let the Father guide you. Let his wisdom, which is so far beyond your own, direct your steps. The answers may not come immediately. The clarity may unfold slowly. But time spent with God is never wasted. It is always, always the most important thing you can do. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 14, verses 22 and 23, we see Jesus after feeding the 5,000. Immediately he made the disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowds. And after he had dismissed the crowds, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone. Even after a miracle, even after a powerful demonstration of God's provision, even after ministering to thousands, Jesus needed solitude. He sent everyone away, the disciples, the crowds, everyone, and he went up the mountain alone, to pray, to be with the Father, to refill what had been poured out. Ministry is costly. Giving is costly. Even good, God-honoring work can drain you if you're not regularly returning to the source. Jesus knew this. He lived it. He modeled it for you. Don't feel guilty for needing time alone with God. Don't apologize for stepping away. Don't let anyone make you believe that rest is selfish or that solitude is unnecessary. Jesus himself practiced it, and he calls you to do the same. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 9, verse 18, we see another glimpse. Now it happened that as he was praying alone, the disciples were with him, even in the presence of his closest friends. Jesus was alone with the Father. He could be physically near others and still be withdrawn in spirit, communing with God, listening, seeking, resting in that sacred place of intimacy. You can cultivate that secret place even in the midst of life. Even when you can't physically withdraw, you can turn your heart toward him. You can pray with your eyes open. You can listen for his voice in the middle of the chaos. You can carry the presence of God with you wherever you go because he lives within you. The secret place is not just a location. It's a posture of the heart. It's a turning toward him. It's a choosing of his presence over everything else. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 5 and 6, Jesus teaches about prayer. And when you pray, you must not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, that they may be seen by others. Truly, I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Prayer is not a performance. It is not something to be displayed or applauded or admired by others. It is sacred. It is private. It is between you and your Father. Go into your room, shut the door, close out the world, and there, in the secret place, pour out your heart, bring your fears, bring your doubts, bring your tears and your questions and your desperate, wordless groans. Your Father sees in secret. He hears in secret. He meets you in secret. And there, where no one else can see, He rewards you, not with applause or recognition, but with Himself, with His presence, with His peace, with His love poured out like oil over every wounded place in your soul. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 7 and 8, Jesus continues, "And when you pray, do not heap up empty phrases as the Gentiles do, for they think that they will be heard for their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. You don't need eloquent words. You don't need theological precision. You don't need to impress God with the beauty of your language or the length of your prayers. He already knows. He knows what you need before the words even form in your mind. He knows the ache beneath the request. He knows the fear behind the question. He knows. So come simply, come honestly, come as you are, stumbling, stuttering, silent. Whatever you can offer is enough. He doesn't want your performance. He wants your heart. And when words fail, when you don't even know what to pray, He understands. The Spirit intercedes. The Father listens. And you are heard. You are seen. You are loved. In the book of Psalms, chapter 5, verse 3, David writes, "O Lord, in the morning you hear my voice. In the morning I prepare a sacrifice for you and watch." Morning, before the day rushes in, before the responsibilities mount, before the world demands your attention. David brought his voice to God. He prepared a sacrifice, not of animals, but of time, of attention, of his very self. And then he watched. He waited. He listened for God's response. He didn't rush through prayer like a checklist. He lingered. He expected God to speak. He positioned himself to receive. That is the posture of the secret place. Not hurried, not distracted. Present, attentive, open. Waiting with expectation for the God who always shows up, who always speaks, who always meets His children in the quiet.